Of overflow, I wanted to bring to the stage Dr. Foster. And she's a blessing to our church, and she specializes in biblical health. Biblical health, the way God designed it from the Bible. All right, and so can you celebrate Dr. Foster? All right, doctor.
Morning.
We're ready for our chat. Ready for our chat. So anytime anything goes wrong with me, I start texting her. And my shoulder is hurting. You think, she's like, you're all right, Pastor. But anyway, just tell us a little bit about what you do, what you specialize in, and why nutrition is so important.
So I am a physician. My primary specialty is actually pediatric radiology. I do mostly adult, however, but on the side, I also became board certified in lifestyle medicine, which is a new specialty in medicine. And when I became certified in this, what I realized, and the reason why I want to become certified is because in the scientific community, medical community now, biblical principles are now being scientifically proven. And we are now, right now I'm working at Kaiser, and we established a lifestyle medicine group at Kaiser, and I cannot believe that I am, part of my job now is educating other physicians on these principles. That has been a prayer that has been answered for me. So there are about 200 doctors at Kaiser, and about once every few months we do an online lunchtime teaching session for doctors to get extra educational units, and it's on these lifestyle medicine principles. So just know that if you're at Kaiser, your doctors are now being educated in biblical principles, and they don't even know it.
So I see the slide, it says yay or nay. Tell me about this. What is that, yay or nay?
Okay, so Pastor had asked me to discuss five different foods that were good for you and 5 foods that are bad. And so I just have a few slides to go through that will give you a red light or a green light or a yay or nay as to if they're good for you or if they're not.
Go to the slide. What's the next slide? Let me see.
Okay, so the first area of our food is dairy. So how many of
milk does a body good, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
How many of you love cheese? Yes, cheese is delicious, right?
Some ways people lie in church. Y'all eat enchiladas? I'm looking at people not raising their hand. What are you talking about? I see you all the time. Just cheese coming all out of their mouth, and they didn't raise their hand. What's happening?
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So one of the lies when we are eating or drinking products that have dairy in them is that you might see some that are they're organic or no added hormones. Well, if you are a cow and you are producing milk, you have natural hormones. And those are hormones that are designed to make a young calf grow enormous amounts of weight in a short period of time. Those same proteins and hormones are now something that we eat. And when you eat cheese particularly, those are hyper-concentrated hormones and proteins that are designed to make a cow gain a lot of weight in a short period of time. So if we are eating that, it's high fat and it's high calorie, and those proteins are telling our bodies to grow fast and to grow big in a short amount of time. That is why we have an enormous cancer epidemic, because cancer cells are growing big and fast, and dairy is a big contributor of that.
Well, I'm trying to get over that you just called me a cow. Oh, my goodness. My goodness.
So whether it's milk, whether it's cheeses, and even in things like pasta, if you look at a box of pasta, and if it says whey, W-H-E-Y, or casein, C-A-S-E-I-N, those are other names for milk. So black and brown communities are about 80% across the world. We do not have a gene that breaks down the lactose in milk. Caucasian communities typically have a defect where it allows them to break down the lactose. So we do not have a defect. Okay, this is just us. So when you feel like you've eaten and you're bloated and you said, well, I really haven't eaten that much, but I'm so bloated, and you think that bloated is a endpoint of having a good enough meal, what you're really experiencing is your inability to process what you shouldn't be eating. And so it's the bloating, it's the gas, it's a lot of GI issues, and so dairy is something that we should be excluding from our diet as much as possible. But that's an A, but we have a yay, and we have alternatives, which are milks that are created out of nuts and seeds. And so any type of nut or seed can be made into a milk.
Okay, this is good. So I've had to shift up our shopping. All right. So any type of nut can be made into a milk.
Yes.
Where do we get that kind of product? I don't know.
So any grocery store typically has almond milk as an alternative. Some have oats.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, and if you go to some of these health food stores, they might have even cashew or hemp milk, pistachio milk. I just bought a creamer that was pistachio creamer. So we have lots of options that don't disrupt our intestinal tract.
Is it still good if I get vanilla almond
fine,
milk?
yes, vanilla's
Okay.
fine.
All right. Okay. Go to the next one.
Okay. Second,
Here's the next one.
meats. So one of our biggest problems in our society is our meat supply. When you look back into biblical times, the eating of meat was actually something that happened during a special time. They did not indulge in meat the way we eat it now. It was not the center of the plate. Speaking to my husband, who's originally from Jamaica, he said that growing up, meat was expensive, still is, and it would be more of a condiment, like a condiment. And so eating meat in little to no amounts is actually best for you. Saturated fats are unhealthy, and also the way that our meat is raised now is also very unhealthy. So and that's whether that's red meat, pork, chicken, fish, everything has been contaminated. So if you are going to eat some meat, animal-based products, try to buy the best you can find and have very little amounts of it, okay? And use it as a side and to embellish what else you're eating, rather than making it the center of the plate. So some alternatives. Every society has their plant-based protein source. So in my culture, Hispanic and Filipino, we have beans. There's Asians have soybeans. Middle Eastern will have tahini, sesame seeds. Jamaicans, rice and peas, they have their red beans. So every culture has their God-given supply of nutrition. And if all you had was your bean and your rice, you would actually have fully adequate nutrition.
Wow. Beans and rice is nice. No, well, that used to be a thing growing up. So my grandmother would fix beans and rice, and it would be a leftover. She also did chili, like a chili and rice as well. Just a little bit around the meat. Yesterday when I made my plate, you're right. Like the chicken, I was like, well, that's not enough. So because I wanted it to spread around the edge of the plate. And then I put the corn on it, and you're right. So we shouldn't make the meat the center attraction. It's more a condiment, like a side.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Next. Wow.
Actually, can we go back one more? I
Go
just
back.
have one more comment. So if you eat something with saturated fat in it, and we draw your blood shortly thereafter, and we spin down your blood, we can actually see the fat layering out. That's how fast that your body is breaking down the fat. If you eat plant-based fats like avocados and oils, olives, you don't see that kind of white layering of the fat in your blood. So, okay, next slide.
Next. Here we go. Oh,
Okay.
Packaged food. Okay.
Packaged food. So if you open your cupboard and think to your house right now, do you have tons of boxed foods? You don't have to shake your head or raise your hand. So if you do, most of those are man-made fake foods, okay? There's a reason they last on the shelf for months on end. If you buy an organic tomato or an organic bunch of grapes, they will degrade within the week. I was very upset because I lost some grapes this week. And that's because they're not meant to last for very long. You're supposed to eat them when they're fresh. So if you're eating food that's packaged by man, then you are promoting disease. If you're eating food packaged by God, then you're promoting life.
Wow, packaged by God. Now, you really have helped me because if you remember, I was having all the knee problems, the joint problems, right? And I thought I had needed to have surgery and I was going to therapy, and then you had me change my diet, and then all of a sudden, it's going away. So I've seen the impact of it. With packaged food, anything that says organic, anything like, it's a lie, right? Because it's in a package.
Well, if you look at a package and it has like less than 3 or 5 ingredients, and you understand them all, they're not scientific names, it's probably going to be okay. They've just desiccated it, they dried it out, add a little salt for preservation. So we do have some healthy foods we can get in a box. It's just not the norm. It's not the bulk of boxed foods. So if you didn't eat anything out of a box, your health will improve. If you ate only out of the fruit and vegetable section in the grocery store, you will be fully sustained and your health will improve.
Wow. Okay, do we have one more?
A couple more, I think. Next.
Okay.
Grains, tubers, and rice. So just touched on this. So the more color in your food, the better. If you have white bread, those grains have been stripped down to nothing but the starch, and it functions similar to sugar. It increases your blood glucose very quickly. Plain white rice is fine, but I do encourage to embellish with some colored rices. So there's pink rice out there, there's black rice, brown rice, because those rices haven't been stripped of their nutrients that actually help fend off disease. So if you think of those extra things in food that get stripped out, it's kind of like people who put gas in the car but then also do like a gas treatment, or you have some oil, and it makes the car run better. If you're, all those little things that you don't see that help the car move, it really is, that's kind of how it is with your body when it comes to these micronutrients, because we usually just hear about fats and carbohydrates and proteins, and you don't hear a lot about those micronutrients that we can't always quantify, but those micronutrients come in the colors of the foods. And so the more colors you eat, the better off you'll be.
What? I was looking at a menu at a restaurant, and it puts the calories on it, right? And so it showed what the calories were with like just a burger, but then it showed with the fries. What makes the fry like calories go up so high? I'm like, it's a potato. Like,
right.
I can't eat a
Yeah.
potato.
So that you can have a potato pastor. You can have all the potatoes you want. Just eat them correctly.
Okay, all right.
So it's the fat.
It's the fat. It's the frying.
It's the frying and the fat. Yes.
I'm getting y'all ready for Thanksgiving.
Okay. So.
This is what we do. We fry and fry. We fry.
Yeah, go back to that slide. Okay, so on the side with the wheat bread, those below it is a plate of chopped up sweet potatoes and the brown rices. So when I started transitioning over to eating the way God designed, one of the things that my husband introduced me to was these Jamaican yams and potatoes that they sustain themselves on.
Wow.
And so in our kitchen, you'll find all different colored potatoes and yams and tubers, and some are purple. If you go to RNN here in town, they have some Asian vegetables, and a lot of those tubers, those starchy, heavy vegetables that you can get from the ground, those are very high density, but they're also high in fiber, high nutrients, and so we don't have to just succumb to eating, potatoes, white potatoes. Dress it up with those different colors, tubers as well.
Okay. We got another one?
So people will say, what do I drink? Water. Drink water. And so if you take a can of soda and you look at the grams of sugar, it will be maybe over 30 or even 50 grams of sugar. Those are 50 sugar cubes. Okay. So we have an enormous amount of processed sugar. This is not how God designed this. I don't go out and find sugar on my tree. This is very highly processed, and this is the number one contributor of inflammation. So if you have joint aches, if you have an autoimmune disease, I would say get this out of your diet as soon as possible. Now, if you have fruit, you can have an unlimited amount of fruit because the way it came out of the ground. I would not say do juicing very much because you've just stripped the fiber out of that drink. If you have a smoothie, that's fine, but I wouldn't live on smoothies because the blending process strips down the fiber into smaller parts, and you want your body to do as much work as it can in digesting your food. If you have a normal gastrointestinal tract, you want your body to do the work. And those fibers, you don't actually use them. You break them down. They're broken down in your intestinal tract, and the good gut bacteria are promoted. They're fed, kind of like fertilizing your intestinal tract the way we fertilize fields, with the good foods, but only if you have enough fiber. And nobody talks about fiber. And if you're constipated, if you don't go to the bathroom every day, then you need more fiber. If your children are having abdominal pain and you go see the doctor, the number one cause of abdominal pain in children is constipation because they're not eating enough fiber. So as a pediatric radiologist, I see this all the time, and I want to put in my reports, eat more fiber, but that's not accepted right now.
Wow. So ginger ale, no?
Ginger ale. You can have ginger tea, and you can sweeten it a little bit with some stevia. But no, the ginger ale. I just bought some of those little small ginger ale cans, and they have about 30 grams of sugar. So I eat them or drink them once every 6 months. So yes.
Diet?
No, diet. Did God make diet?
Zero.
Did God make diet?
God didn't make it. I'm just listen, I'm speaking for them. They sending me messages. Yeah, I know them. They're sending it to me. They're asking, they're like, now, what about sweetened water? Last one, sweetened water.
Okay, these are the
flavored water.
Let's go to the next one. We'll talk about embellishments. Okay. So embellishments are things that we add to make our food taste the way we want it. And sugar is one of those things we don't want to be adding, in huge amounts. So some plant-based alternatives: date sugar or date syrup is made from dates. I can take some dates, blend them, pulverize them in a blender, and then use that to sweeten cakes or things I'm baking. There's agave, stevia, and honey. Now, I am not saying that you need to use these in large amounts. These are very small amounts because at the end of the day, this is still sugar, and it's sugar that doesn't have fiber. The date syrup has a little bit of fiber, but the honey, the agave, the stevia, it doesn't have a lot of fiber. And so I like to sweeten things with bananas, whole dates, and just whole food, okay, as close to the way it came out of the ground, the way God designed it.
Wow. Okay, so we're at the end of our time. The people are sad. No, I'm playing. No, isn't this amazing though? Because we need to know this, because we are praying about things. I believe that sometimes we don't want to get to the place to where we have to pray about them. Does that make sense? Like, I want to know that I've done everything that God has told me to. This body is going to break down. I don't expect to be here if the rapture delays. I don't expect to be here for 120 years. However, we want to have overflow in our health. We want to be able to walk to the store, pick up our grandchildren. Isn't that right? Great-grandchildren. You want to be able to have a balanced life. And so this is why this is so important. Last thing that you want us to know. By the way, Lady Net's not here, but she's watching. So you just have shifted our whole Thanksgiving. No, I'm just playing. But what we need to take away from kind of this biblical design, God's design for nutrition.
So how many of you are parents out there? Parents? And how many of you tell your children something that's for their own good, that you know if they follow it, and they know if they follow it, that they'll be kept from harm's way? Right? Hanging out with the wrong friends, driving recklessly. Oh, driving recklessly. I believe that God told us a very simple way to maintain our bodies and not have to think about it. And all we do is think about our health now. This is the richest country in the world, and we are probably one of the sickest. And we take it for granted. And I believe that it's very insulting when God has blessed us with a resilient body and that we abuse it until it's working 10%. And I see that in the hospital. You can lose 90% of your lung function and still survive. But it's not pretty. And I don't believe that God designed for us to live on 10%. And it's very frustrating for me to promote this and for people to come to me, and just like my husband's a coach, and he'll say, you know, you want to get better, but you don't want to do the work. But you have to make it a habit to where it doesn't feel like work. So your appetite has to change, but you have to start somewhere. And on a personal note, for myself, I hurt my knee a couple months ago, and it's been a pain to try and get my fitness back. It is work. I have to think about it every day. But my thing is, like you said, I wake up with a hope, like, God, you gave me this body. Thank you for the ability to do what I'm doing, and thank you for the strength to make it stronger. And I have the knowledge to do that. So I'm not going to be lazy and take it for granted that I'm in a space of grace right now, and not be appreciative to the God who gave me everything I need for full wellness.
Come on, can we celebrate? Dr. Foster, come on. Amen. She just gave it to us. She didn't hold back. She didn't hold back. She don't hold back. Amen. The worship team is coming at this time, and then I'm coming with the word.